Hello, boys and girls. Mr. Poust here. It's late in the evening. I got my Scooby-Doo book. I'm in the woods, setting up the setting. Very exciting. This one is Scooby-Doo, Shiny, Spooky Nights. And I'm very excited to read this one. So good. We got some work to do now. Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? We need some help from you now. The Mystery Machine bumped along a dark, empty road. Scooby-Doo and his friends bumped along too. Like, we're in the middle of nowhere, said Shaggy. I hope we have enough gas. All at once, the van stopped. Ruh-roh, said Scooby. Zoinks, said Shaggy. We are out of gas. No, said Fred. He checked under the hood. Engine trouble. We have to call a tow truck. Velma and Daphne looked around. Where could they find a telephone? Look! Scooby cried. He pointed down the road. I hope it's a house, Velma said. So we can use the phone. And the fridge, Shaggy added. The gang walked towards the light. The light grew brighter. They were getting closer. Suddenly, Velma said, Jinkies! It's not a house! It's a castle! The castle looked spooky. Scooby dug in his paws. He didn't want to move. Come on, old buddy, Shaggy said. Think fridge! In a flash, Scooby swam across the moat. He banged on the drawbridge with his tail. The drawbridge dropped. Suits of armor stood at the door. Cool statues, said Shaggy. Clank, clank. The helmet snapped open. They weren't suits of armor. They were knights. Shiny, spooky knights. Who goes there? One knight cried. Nobody, cried Shaggy. He and Scooby backed away. Come on, said Fred. We have to find a phone. Scooby shook his head. Rubber! For a Scooby snack, Velma said. Shaggy and Scooby raced inside. Inside the castle, a chandelier swung back and forth. Creak, creak. That's funny, said Daphne. There's no breeze. What is making it move? Roast, Scooby whispered to Shaggy. Ghost, Shaggy said, as a strange man rushed into the room. The man opened his mouth to speak. Scooby stared at the sharp, pointy teeth. Rings? Said Scooby. He's a vampire, Shaggy cried. Vampire. Shaggy and Scooby ran, but the vampire ran too. Like, since we're running, Shaggy said, let's run to the kitchen. Raw, said Scooby. In the kitchen, they saw a woman. She stirred a giant pot that bubbled over a fire. A witch! Cried Shaggy. That is a witch. You two are perfect, said the witch. Just what I need. No way, said Shaggy. We're not part of your spooky recipe. Oh, I just wanted to show you. Kenny joined us. You see him over there? Right there. Hi, Kenny. He wants to hear the story, too. Shaggy and Scooby raced away. Stop! Cried the witch. Stop! Cried the vampire. They chased Shaggy and Scooby down the stairs to a dark, dark dungeon. Shaggy and Scooby backed into the corner. Suddenly, a mummy leaped up. Time is up! He shouted. Our time is up, Scoob! Shaggy cried. We've got to get out of here! It's a scary story. I love it. They raced up the stairs. Stop! Cried the mummy. Stop! Cried the witch. Stop! Cried the vampire. Let's find Velma, Fred, and Daphne. Then we'll get out of here, said Shaggy. Wow. Finally, Shaggy flung open a door. Down below, they saw monsters and zombies and ghosts. He looks familiar. And Velma, Daphne, and Fred. A knight stood over them. He held his sword tight. You okay over there, Kenny? It's gonna be okay. Shaggy and Scooby will be fine in this story. It's fine. Kenny's a little concerned. What shall we do, Scooby? Shaggy asked Scooby. Just then the vampire, witch, and mummy leaped beside them. Rump! Said Scooby. Jump! Shaggy yelled. Shaggy grabbed the chandelier. Scooby grabbed Shaggy. They swung across the room. What's gonna happen, guys? I got a plan. Shaggy and Scooby dropped to the floor, right on top of the knight. My sword! The knight cried. Grab it, Fred! Shaggy shouted. Fred scooped it up, but then he gave it back to the knight. Scooby hid his eyes. He was afraid to look. Relax, Velma said. The knight is going to cut the cake. What the cake? Velma stepped out of the way. Now Shaggy could see a party cake. It's a costume party, Velma said. But, said Shaggy, what about the ghostly chandelier? That's a good question. I was pulling a string, said the vampire, to move the chandelier into place. And the witch's potion? Shaggy asked. Punch, said the witch. I wanted you to try it. The witch is still scary. And the mummy's warning? Time is up. The mummy smiled. My nap time was over. But you chased us, said Shaggy. Sure, said the vampire, to invite you to the party. Huh. We knew it all along, right, Scoob? Said Shaggy. We were just acting. Scooby looked around at all the smiling faces. He stood up and bowed. Scooby-Dooby-Doo! Would you like to use the phone right now? Asked the knight. Oh, no rush, said Shaggy. How about some cake? Awesome. I hope you enjoyed it, boys and girls. Scooby Doo and the Shiny Spooky Nights.